A beautiful morning to you. This is the Morning Call. I'm Hanan Fejani, broadcasting live from Congo.
And I am Robert Kodingo. It's the midweek. Today is Wednesday. We are broadcasting the Morning Call live in French and English. And top on our broadcast today, what we're looking at, the African Union has agreed to send its troops to the troubled South Sudan in an attempt to end the new surge of violence in the country to restore peace and reconciliation.
And UNICEF estimates that thousands of people are facing starvation in northeast Nigeria, once controlled by Boko Haram. We'll be speaking to a representative of UNICEF later in the program.
And later on our news bulletin, Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe has blasted and questioned the organizer of protest, Pastor Mawarire, for getting backing from foreign governments.
And Ghana lowers its 2016 economic growth forecast arising from lower export prices and irregular oil production. Details in the business segment.
Now, a warm welcome to this broadcast of the Morning Call. The African Union approved to send its troops and join the 12,000-strong United Nations peacekeepers in South Sudan in a bid to restore peace and the reconciliation process between President Salva Kiir and his Vice President Riek Machar.
Well, the South Sudanese government has, however, opposed the move to deploy an African Union force in its territory. We are not ready to deploy even one soldier in our country. It will not solve the problem. This is what the country's Minister of Information, Michael Makuei-Luet, said. The UN has also imposed an arms embargo on the country.
Now, at least 272 people have died in the latest clashes between forces loyal to President Salva Kiir and his rival Vice President Riek Machar. The conflict has caused a heavy social and economic impact as tension has been very high since April when Riek Machar returned to the capital, Juba, on a new peace deal.
Well, contrary to the peace agreement signed in August 2015, President Salva Kiir's troops make up the majority in and around the capital, Juba. And experts say there will be a huge challenge.
Garang he joined us earlier from Juba. He's an economic analyst, and he tried to give us more on the impact of the conflict so far. He told us what he made of the African Union Regional Protection Force and what they are listening.
I
think the African Union is supposed to be limited in nature, and it would only be there to neutralize any side which would seem aggressive to the other side, in the sense that it would only be there to guide interest and protect infrastructure, including their airports. But at the end of the day, if the neighbors are in favor of it, then our presidents may have a second thought.
And what do people expect of it, James?
One, we need the international community to put pressure on the two men, Dr. Riek and President Salva Kiir, to make this peace agreement work, because by doing so, that would bring about political stability. And that's one. Number two, for the past 2 years, South Sudanese citizens have suffered enough. The economic situation is getting out of hand. So we need the international community to pressure the two to work and also come to our aid through external economic support. You may remember that in June this year, a consultation team came here and made a number of recommendations. And those recommendations have been put on hold because of these recent skirmishes. They have been disrupted. So we need the international community to assist as much as possible.
Now, he also gave us a situation in Juba since a ceasefire that has been holding on since Monday.
There
is panic, fear. Panic because there is already economic consequences that has come out of this conflict. Basic commodity are not in the market. Food prices are already high, and individuals are keying up in the bank to withdraw their money. But generally, security-wise, would say the situation is calm. But of course, there's the fear of unknown. whether Machar will be back or is the UN embargo will go through, whether these UN forces come. That will happen. What will happen next is unknown. Today we are told Riek is somewhere. He is around Juba, but we don't know where. The government seems to be saying that they know where Riek is, and Riek is also saying he's in contact with the government, but he's not coming. Heightening the sources of anxiety. Will we go back to war? Will this issue be resolved? If resolved, in what way? Well, that was James Alik Garang in Kigali.